Okay, so in this video, what I'm going to be doing is just showing you how to replace your CentOS. And I should have done this video a while ago, but what happened is I just haven't really got around to it. But then just recently, I ended up in trouble because a customer had to move to a different VPS. So I told them to choose the VPS, logged into it, and found out it was running the old CentOS 8. And of course, when you go in there, let me just show you what, so of course I go in, I'm in the new VPS, and the customer was in a hurry to, get the things installed. So I thought, okay, let me do a quick yum update first, and just to get everything up to date. So of course I run it, and what do you find? It then gives you this error, and I thought, what's this? So I just got a new VPS from the provider, and this is a company, this is just like a week ago. A new VPS, and what they've done is, if you choose CentOS 8 in the install, so if you choose CentOS 8 in the install, then what happens is they give you this old CentOS 8, which is already mashed up. So, I was panicking a little bit because I thought I had to get this job done, and I didn't realize these VPS providers were just giving you something which was a mess. So, yeah, and that's even worse, is that, right, so what I had to do was to, I realized that it's too difficult trying to, fix it and switch it over to a different type of CentOS 8. So in the end, what I did on that VPS was to just switch it over to Rocky. And the good thing is I already had a file that I tested. I already had something I tested out before to check it worked, but I hadn't done the video for it yet. So I quickly got the file, the text file, looked through it, and I found that it looks like it's quite an easy process. I just quickly did it. So I thought I might as well put it out now, since I ended up having to use that same thing, just in case anyone else ends up in the same position where they get one of these bad VPSs, which has got the wrong old CentOS on it, and end up getting stuck. So there are different ways that people will say that you can try to fix the problem. But what I found is that the best thing to do is just give up on CentOS straight away and go straight up to, Rocky was the one I chose, but I know there's other scripts you can find for other ones. But if you're in trouble, then the Rocky version is the one which can get you out of trouble. So as you see in the description, I have the commands, but just in case they don't come out too well, I'll also have them on my website as well. So first thing you have to do is just get rid of all the old CentOS repo items. So you do that by just erasing everything. So that's it, they're just gone. Because when you use RPM actually does the job and just deletes everything sort of hardcore without mercy. So the next thing, the reason for that is because this is this is such a mess. The metadata, etc. The easiest thing to do is just get rid of it. And so now there's a long set of URLs for RPM, which you'll see. And so basically you paste it in. I'm just going to describe something, because the old version I did it a while ago when 8.6 was a release, but now 8.6 is actually it's behind, so it's a vault. But the advantage here is that if you're on 8.5, they give you a VPS with 8.5. When you put 8.6 on, that's the next version up, so it's close. So you don't really want to jump too far just in case it has a problem. But the main thing is, I know this 8.6 works, so that's why even though it's in the vault, I know that it will work for doing a reinstall. So let's just run this command. And so that's it. So that's all the repos for Rocky install. And so now all we have to do is just run the butcher, and then this will just overwrite everything. And so what it's doing is it's downloading the metadata now for the Rocky. And so it's downloading all the files. So this will just take a little bit of time. And so what this essentially is going to do is just going to force overwrite all the old files and essentially butcher what was there before. Yeah, and the other thing I'm just going to mention as well is that the because the VPS I use EFI for booting, there's another command which I've included which you have to run, but that's only if you're using EFI, because normally when the kernel is updated, the normal grub bootloader will be updated anyway. But I'm presuming that the EFI, because the EFI obviously is CentOS, and even if you do, grub will create an EFI for the Rocky, but I presume that well, I don't know, but I think it's just to do with which one. Or it could be, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Because you see, what it is, on the VPS, it was using EFI, so I had to use the next command in order for the EFI to be updated. But it's just that I'm booting this on standard MBR. So, obviously the older VPSs, they'll be using MBR as well. So I'm going to presume when I reboot, I don't need that grub command. So that's so you just make sure to check whether you're actually booting from EFI. And the way you can tell is there's a command called EFI vars, I think, which will tell you. So now the transaction test is just checking that it can overwrite every single thing. Okay, that was successful. So that means it's going to overwrite every single file that's on there, and then replace it with the new ones. Alright, so that's it. And so now, if we check the release, so you see that it's Rocky 8.8, it's 8.8, so it looks like it sneaked in an update in the process, even though it shows the 8.6, but you know, I suppose they do that sometimes. So what we do now is we have to reboot and see if it comes back. And what I found is it actually takes a while because of the security. Yeah, because I haven't disabled the security on it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so not sure what's happened there, but let's see what. Okay, and so there you go. So I'm not sure why it froze on shutdown there. But the thing about it is systemd. And I've noticed that if you do a search on the internet for systemd freeze on shutdown and freeze on startup, it seems it's something that good old systemd has introduced into the Unix sphere, which is, you know, bad boot ups like how people are used to on Windows and Mac OS. So of course systemd is trying to do its job to replicate that badness in the sort of Unix sphere as well. Okay, so there we're in now. Right, so now, normally, you saw before what it said about the yum update, so if we try that now, right, so now that's the message you'd expect. So if you try and install your, you know, the usual stuff, Why they haven't got screen? Nothing wrong with screen. So as you see now, so that's working now. And so like I say, the reason I did this is because I was stuck and then had to go to the text file that I prepared before to rescue myself. So I'm just doing this just in case anyone else is in the same position and gets a duff VPS and they have to rescue themselves as well.